What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome to the week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking one comic book character as we do every single week. We talk their good points, their bad points, and just generally give you a rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Mean. Shaun, how's it going?
Swimmingly, Conor. It's going swimmingly.
Swimmingly?
Yes, I'm in a pool.
Oh, I never understood that phrase. Why is swimming a good thing? Yeah.
Look, it originated from Olympic swimmers.
Did it?
Yeah. It was like, oh, how did the race go today, honey? It went swimmingly, he said sarcastically.
That's almost like it's a very condensed area that it's gone into the broad public somehow. It's very strange.
It's mad, but it's like, you know, it's like the way we all say bless you. When someone sneezes, which famously originated from Olympic long jumpers.
Yeah, we all know. The long jumpers would fly. If you jump too far, oh, bless you. Okay,
bless you, sir.
You are blessed. You are a holy boy.
You
Off
flew like an angel.
We all know that. So, this week's Hero Zero Shaun is my week, so that means it's probably going to be DC. You normally cover the Marvel aspect of the Hero Zero spectrum.
I tend to.
And what I've done this week is I've picked a character that actually is very, very famous. Well, his superpowers are very, very famous in movies currently.
Oh, okay.
Incredibly famous. He's played by one of the most likeable actors in the world.
Oh.
But what I've done is, I've looked at that version and I went, I wonder if DC did the same. And they have, because I'm this week covering The Atom.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you've done there. Well done, sir.
Exactly. So this week I am going to be covering Raymond Palmer, who has actually been in The Arrow, and he's also in Legends of Tomorrow, played by Brendan Routh.
Who was Superman.
Yes, of course, it's all linked together. But, so, originally, first of all, my first question, and I know what you're thinking, which came first? The Atom or Ant-Man?
Okay, I'm going to guess Ant-Man.
It was actually The Atom.
Was it?
Yeah, so not only did The Atom come first, but there's been two atoms before Ant-Man was created.
Right, but did any of them beat their wives?
No, that was all DC. That was all Marvel, boy. They came up with that.
It's a really staunch point of view on that one.
Stan Lee looked at the Atom and he was like, how can we make this better? How can we improve this story?
One simple change we could make.
So the Atom was actually like in the very, very start of the 1940s, there was an Atom, and he was called Al Pratt.
Right.
And so I'm not going to be covering him because he was around for a small bit and then he basically just disappeared. And then Raymond Palmer was the Atom that everyone kind of knows. He's the famous Atom. It's very like Jay Garrick and Barry Allen.
Right. The second one was the most famous one.
Yeah, and so Raymond Palmer was in 1961. It came in. The Ant-Man was created in 1962. Now, I'm not saying that's suspicious. I'm just saying.
Look, it's so sometimes ideas happen at the same time, but one puts in a higher level of polish, and so it comes out an entire year after the other one.
Yeah. Look, it's comic books. They're literally, the two of them were just looking across like, what the fuck are they doing? How the fuck do we do that?
They just did insect plus man equals money.
Yeah, that's basically it. That was them for about 40 years. That's how they got all of their characters.
Yeah, so now they just recycle them.
The Atom was created by Gardner Fox and Gil Kane. So, in the 1950s and 60s, DC Comics used the ongoing series Showcase to basically highlight new characters that they hoped would be popular enough to eventually get their own series.
Okay.
So it was kind of like we have this showcase and we'll just throw a lot of shit at the wall. Let's see what sticks.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Which seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that would be cool to see like how it would be done today, you know, because it would just be like a digital thing and it would cost you no money really.
But like, if you think about Batman and Spider-Man, they're the exact same way. Like, was Batman in Detective Comics and Spider-Man was in Adventure Comics or something. Which one was he in?
Fuck.
Amazing Comics, Super Comics, something like that, along those lines.
They were a serial that they were just put out every so often, like a comic strip, essentially. But they were just stories in this series.
And so the mandate in this new showcase that they wanted to do in the 60s was that they wanted to take Golden Age characters from the 40s and just update them, but with a more scientific emphasis, which is why Barry Allen and all of them exist. Because they needed a more scientific emphasis because apparently they must have done some sort of study and they're like, kids love science.
Science is big in the 50s, man.
It was real big. That's why all those characters all have origins like they just fell into chemicals.
It's all chemicals. It's just a pile of chemicals.
They drank some chemicals, lightning hit chemicals, something happened with chemicals. So Ray Palmer was created through this, and he was used to be the brand new updated character of the Atom. He was a dedicated scientist who could shrink to microscopic size. He debuted in 1961, in October of 1961, and has basically gone on ever since. He got his own series eventually, but that was cancelled very quickly. And
I imagine he's not really a headline act, is he?
No, which is interesting because he's not a headline act, but also he's almost always seen as part of the Justice League in all Justice League books. Like, he's just a background character.
He's a constant. He's just there.
So he's important enough to be in the Justice League, but not important enough to have, like, the Atom series.
Yeah, he's interesting. For what I know of him, he's quite sciencey.
Yes.
And so, like, he's like a... What would you call it? He wasn't not a stereotype, but he is a type of character that you always need. Yeah, something like that. That he's the science guy and Batman's the punchy guy. You know, you need those aspects in a team.
But what if Batman is also the gun guy? What if
Batman had a gun?
He'd be unstoppable. We always bring it up every single week. So, the origins of Ray Palmer, the Atom. Ray grew up in Ivy Town in Connecticut, where he studied physics at Ivy University under a lot of renowned scientists. He began dating law student Jean Loring and eventually became exclusive. Him and Jean, they were love and life.
Yes,
right?
They were going steady, were they?
Yes, they were going steady with my best gal, right? They both graduating and working in their professions. Ray would frequently ask Jean to marry him, but she would always decline, wanting to establish herself as a lawyer before getting married and settling down with him.
Oh, so Ray is a soy boy, is what you're saying?
He's a cook. No, like imagine Hank Pym, but respectable. Like he's just
good gosh.
That's what he is. So he's just like a nice man who's just really good at science, and So he's a physics graduate student at this stage, and he discovers a thing called a white dwarf star fragment that had fallen to Earth.
Okay. I'm liking
reminds me his Marvel bullshit style. Think of Spider-Man 3, where Venom just accidentally lands on Earth. This thing
crashes near the one person who can make use of him?
Exactly. So the white dwarf star fragment fell to Earth and he came across it. Investigating matter compression, Ray theorised that if he were to grind a lens from this fragment and focus ultraviolet rays onto it, he could shrink anything struck by the light down to a fraction of its original size.
Okay, I just want you to remember exactly what you just said for any time you call my Marvel reports bullshit.
Look, to be honest with you, we're not even going to get into a Beta Ray Bill, right? Come on now, right? All I said was this chap had ultraviolet rays and it's like a magnifying glass on a piece of diamond. That's what he was doing.
Right, okay, thanks for simplifying it for me.
Look, for ye simple folk, I have to break it down, as I'm a scientist. You know how it is. I'm sitting here in my lab coat.
He wears it all the time.
My Bunsen burner is going on beside me, keeping me warm.
Look, we all know you did science in leaving cert, okay?
So Ray rushed off to his laboratory, realising that he'd possibly found like an amazing discovery that could shrink everything. He tried the experiment and found that it worked exactly how he had imagined it.
First try.
Except The objects he shrunk eventually became unstable and exploded.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Ray.
No, that's gonna work against him.
You really shouldn't have tested it on the orphanage.
Oh, that orphanage was one day from retirement. So, a couple of days later, a disillusioned Ray and some friends became trapped in a cave while out spelunking.
As you do in the 50s.
How do you get over your sadness from your recent, physics experiment? Go spelunking.
Bit of spelunking with the lads.
So Ray was forced to risk instability and use the shrinking lens on himself in order to escape the cave and save the lives of his friends.
He brought it with him.
Look, he just had it. Sometimes you just have it with you.
Just while you go spelunking, you take your shrinky lens.
Keys, phone, shrinky lens. Does anyone have my wallet? Where's my wallet? Has anyone seen that?
Oh, I called the whole thing off, lads.
There's no point. For some reason, however, this is going to be my favourite line. I think you'll like it too. Mm-hmm. For some reason, after using the ray on himself, Ray didn't explode and returned to his normal height. In fact, the shrinking lens worked on his body much better than he had expected, and he developed a set of control devices that gave him limited control over his weight as well as his size.
Right, okay. So, he's just lucky.
So what I'm saying is very similar to how you said, this diamond fell from the space. From the TV broadcaster Sky. the TV broadcaster threw it up. No, this diamond fell from space and it landed beside the one person whose body or blood is strong enough to withhold its shrinky powers.
Beautiful, Conor. Beautiful. You come from an island of scholars.
Fell from sky. I think that's my favourite. I got halfway through the sentence in my head and I was like, jeez, this is bullshit. And I just missed look, I'm just going to skip words. Hopefully this works. He just fell from sky. So now he's the only man. He's able to use they now discovered later on that he has a metagene, which is why he's able to withhold this. But at the time, he just thinks he's a bit special.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, it worked on me. Thank God.
Also, I think the metagene line was them just rewriting it to be like, oh, well, he has a metagene. That's why it only worked on him.
How long do you think he waited, before he was confident he wouldn't explode?
That's actually a good question, because you'd be waiting for it.
You'd be sitting there being like, oh, it took the mouse 14 seconds. Yeah,
I could shrink here and get us out, but at the same time it will mean I will explode in about 24 seconds. So, just
pluses and minuses, lads.
How much do I like Tom is the real question here.
Is it a lot? I don't think it's a lot.
I don't think it is. I like spelunking more. Maybe just...
And really,
I'm
spelunking for the rest of my life now.
So, keeping his discoveries a secret, even from Gene, the dickhead, Ray created the identity of the Atom and began a career of crime fighting in his own hometown of Ivy.
Excellent. So he's just straight into the crime fighting.
No messing about. In the 60s, the origin was he found out how to shrink. Second day out, go to crime fighting.
Yeah. Just like, lads, I've read Batman and I'm going to be a Batman.
I fell from sky and I'm going to be a Batman. They're like, is there something wrong with his brain? I don't understand.
Did it fall on head?
Did it fall on head? Did it fall from sky on head?
It fell on
head. So in his first recorded adventure, the Atom stopped the crook Carol Ballard from exploiting the tiny alien Kulan Dahar to commit his crimes.
I'm sorry?
None of this matters, but I'm only using this because I wanted to say the next line. Foiling this plot, the Atom became a trusted hero in the town and established a great working relationship with the local police after one day out.
They're just like, you seem like an alright dude.
Even in Gotham, the police are like, Batman's a dick after 50 years.
Yeah, like Batman, I think he just hasn't done the community outreach that the Atom is willing to do.
he saved that one tiny alien that one time. I mean, come on, lads.
That alien was beloved by the entire town.
Key to the city, here you go.
And even the fact that he could shrink anywhere and get in anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't worry them at all.
No, he's definitely a good guy.
Of course.
He won't go bad.
Does he go bad?
No, he doesn't go bad. But, I mean, how did they know that? He's had one fucking day out.
That's true. God, the town of Ivy isn't as intelligent as its college would make it out to be.
Just, that's a bit fucking attack on their character.
I mean, if it's a fictional town, I'll stand by it. If it's a real town, I'm sorry.
I'll still stand by it, but I'm sorry. The Atom's heroics also made him an ally of the CIA, who sent him overseas. What? Who sent him overseas to rescue foreign spies?
Do they know what his name? Do they know him as a person?
They don't care. They just want to send him places.
Just like, show us the shrinky thing.
Do the shrinky thing again. Fell from sky. Tell that story.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, basically it was the 60s. It was just like he did one good thing, and then the comic was like, the town loves him, the CIA love him, he's a big deal.
What a good guy.
He was also asked to join the Justice League of America after he helped them stop a criminal, and basically he helped them stop a criminal because he just turned up, and they were like, hey you, the CIA vouched for you, and your town vouched for you, and we've heard the story from Head from Sky. You're in.
And frankly, that third one really sealed the deal.
Superman's like, the third one was fucking Vince Bats.
Batman is just still laughing underneath the table.
Completely serious for everything else, like, from Sky. I love that one. He's a good storyteller, that chap.
Ray. I mean, the Atom. Ray.
He's away with words. So he then got engaged to Jean Loring. So everything is coming up Millhouse for him. You know what I mean?
Surely nothing could go wrong. Surely he's the one character without a tragic story.
So here's the thing. Like, I'm skipping a lot of shit 60s stories where he stops really terribly named villains.
And I'll be honest, Conor, thank you for that.
Yeah, I had so much backstory that I was just like, don't need that. Just take it for granted that there was so many fucking weird names. There's a guy called Kronos, there's a bad guy called the Bug-Eyed Bandit, and there is two main guys.
Jesus. There's two main villains.
You can tell why this comic series was cancelled.
You really can. But, like, those were his Joker.
Yeah. So, back in Ivy Town, the Atom earned a new villain, as I said, the Bug-Eyed Bandit. So he's busy dealing with the Bug-Eyed Bandit. You know, it's very similar to Bane, okay? And so, during this... Lex Luthor, Bane, you know, Sinestro, the Bug-Eyed Bandit, they all...
more deadly than the last.
So, during this adventure, Jean accepted his proposal for marriage. Not because of love, but for fear that Ray would eventually become too absorbed in his work to ask her anymore.
Oh, Jesus. Lads, that's not on now, I don't think.
No.
I think he's asked plenty of times.
Yeah.
And that's the first time she said yes.
I think after you ask twice, leave it.
Stop asking.
Just stop asking. Even once, I would leave it for a few years.
Yeah. After, or even, I assume after you ask, you have a discussion about it.
Yes.
You know, you don't just you figure something out.
No, he was too busy with the Bug-Eyed Bandit. He couldn't listen. He was like, do you want to marry me? Okay, gotta go. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go.
And then eventually he's going to stop asking.
Eventually, you're just going to get sad. She's like, I said yes every single fucking time, but you never listened.
Too busy with the Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Oh, God. So they did get engaged, and they actually got married in the end. And we will come to that later on. But first of all, what I want to say was the Justice League was still there, and he was a mainstay within all this time. So much so, as time went on, Ray eventually got less involved in solo adventures, and it ended up just teaming up with Hawkman basically on a regular basis, or getting involved in many of Justice League's cases, just to kind of make his comic book more exciting.
Right, so that was how his stories They turn into like group pieces.
Yes. And it was their kind of way to get people to keep reading. But obviously, eventually, I think Hawkman and him eventually had like they amalgamated the two comics into one comic, Hawkman and the Atom.
Oh, that classic pair.
The classic pair. So Batman and Robin, Hawkman and Atom. And so, unfortunately, this might surprise you, but that also got cancelled.
Did it now?
After another year. Yeah.
Jez, it's a tough world, the comic book industry.
'Tis a plot twist nobody's seen coming. So, soon, Atom's super-heroic alter ego took a toll on his marriage.
Oh, as it always does in these stories.
Who could have predicted? So, he had it all. He got married, he had the Justice League, he had his own comic book series. He's slowly losing everything, and this is where it gets fun. Atom... Yeah, his work as the Atom took a massive toll on his marriage, and Jean drifted into an affair out of loneliness with a man called Paul Hoban, who I will never mention again.
But he sounds, albeit fine.
He sounds like a stand-up man who just does his stuff.
Paul just does his own thing. He's just... he's there. He's there for Jean.
He's there for any time. Now, not only did this happen at the same time, but at the same also concurrently.
Good word.
It fell from sky. So, after returning to the normal world, Ray Palmer faked his own death.
Jesus.
As part of a government operation to root out corrupt rogue agents. So, he gets divorced, and I think he went to subatomic levels. Like, he just shrunk until he was like so small that like he was just sad. He just didn't want to do anything.
Oh, and he just hid in the small world.
He hid in the small world, and this will come back up in a few minutes, so bear with me.
Okay.
But he hid at that point, so he then came back to the real world, and he found out that there was... what's the best way to describe it? Like a Hydra kind of thing. There was like corrupt agents going on.
I understand now.
And see, look, I'm talking your language. So, the words of an idiot. So, his way to root out the corruption was to fake his own death for some reason. Don't worry about it. Right?
Okay, but it worked.
In this time, he would assist the Suicide Squad in a few missions. Because he was technically dead and off the map, and so he was like to Amanda Waller, do you need a hand with Suicide Squad?
I need to do something. I'm having a rough time of it.
I'm not married. I'm very lonely. The apartment is quite small that I'm in right now. It's just me. Amanda, do you have any work? Is what he said.
Any jobs going?
And who do I hand in my CV? Can I talk to the manager? Yeah. Just really quickly. But he went on a lot of missions with them. However, soon after that, Ray Palmer would be invited to rejoin the Justice League of America, an offer that he gladly accepted. And in my head, he's in the same room as the Suicide Squad when he gets this offer. Yeah. And then he's like, go fuck you guys, I'm going back to the big leagues.
I hope all of your brains blow up.
Especially you, Will Smith.
Slipknot? Oh yeah, the other one.
Oh, sorry. No, Slipknot's already dead. There's no way he lasted that long.
That's true. He blows up immediately. That's his one job.
The man who can climb anything.
So fucking dumb.
So he left the Suicide Squad and he came back to the Justice League. Now, this is where it gets good. Now, I'm going to read this whole bit, and this is... Oh, man.
I will stay silent throughout.
This is my big Atom story because this is the one that caught my attention the most. So, in time, Ray and Jean. Do you remember Jean?
Vaguely, I did.
Vaguely, yeah.
Is this the greatest woman of all time?
She loved spelunking. So Ray and Jean were able to be friends again after the divorce. And in the divorce, she had received half of his patents and sure, all of his scientific things, right? As a gesture of friendship, Jean decided to sign them back to him.
Oh, that's nice. I mean? That's convenient.
Nice gal, Jean, huh? Very nice.
Fair play to you.
I think we should stop now. I think it's a very nice thing to do.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's more to come.
Little did he know that this was one of the many facets to Jean's deadly scheme to win Ray back.
What?
Since the divorce, Jean had somehow become...
Just no explanation.
So, Jean had somehow become, let's just go with that, Jean had somehow become seriously deranged and believed that the only way somehow become seriously deranged is not something that just pops up overnight.
It's not a frequent sentence.
No, and believed that the only way to be reunited with Ray was to force the issue, as all great love stories tell us.
Yes, force.
Incredibly, she devised an elaborate plan to endanger Sue Dibney. I know who you're thinking.
Yeah.
Who is Sue Dibney?
Who, Conor, if I may ask, who is Sue Dibney?
Sue Dibney is the wife of elongated man Ralph Dibney.
Conor, if I may ask, who is the elongated man? Ralph Dibney.
He's just a stretchy boy. He's a stretchy boy.
Is he Mr.
Right?
Fantastic?
Very similar. Very similar.
Awful person.
I can't put that on the man just yet, but maybe he is.
Okay.
Jean was privy to the fact that every year on her birthday, Ralph would be absent, away from the home, solving a custom-tailored mystery devised by Sue Dibney. So Ralph and Sue have a cute little thing every single year.
Yeah.
And when it's Sue's birthday, she set like a treasure hunt for Ralph. And he would have to solve all the clues, and then he would eventually, I'm assuming, get a prize of some kind. It's very weird.
Very wholesome, though.
Very wholesome. It's a nice thing to do in marriage. They still had a bit of excitement, and Jean wanted that back. So, on the night that she knew that Ralph was out, she bypassed the Dibney security by shrinking down using the Atom's technology.
And exploded.
And travelling via the phone lines into their home. She then entered Sue's body and obstructed the blood flow to her brain, killing her.
What?
Remember, somehow became seriously deranged.
And climbed in her blood and killed her.
To cover up this evidence, Jean then scorched Sue's body.
What the fuck?
Do you remember when I said this was my favourite bit?
Dude. What?
You weren't ready.
What era of comics is this in?
This is the 80s, I think.
Oh God, we've not even gotten to extreme 90s yet.
It's good stuff, though. No, it must be the 90s. Sorry, no, it is the 90s.
Okay,
because
this tracks
the next
then.
paragraph tells me it's the 90s. But so she kills Sue, and I'm sad for Ralph because he's going to finish that treasure hunt and he'll just come home to, I'm assuming, his wife's remains that are burned.
What if he thought it was still a part of the treasure hunt?
What have you done now, Sue, huh? I see what you've done here. This is a skeleton. What are you doing to the skeleton,
Oh
Sue?
no.
Oh no. So, Jean knew that this event, why did she do this, Shaun? This is the question. Why would she kill this random woman, Sue? She's seriously deranged. Jean knew that this event would send all the heroes scrambling to protect their loved ones and hopefully drive Ray back into her arms.
What?
Yes.
Oh God. I mean, she is deranged. That's been said.
Yes. Seriously.
So somehow...
Somehow.
Surely they would just use their skills to catch and stop the person.
Well, you see, she thought of all this stuff. Don't worry about it. Jean employed 2 other schemes to cover her tracks.
Good God.
So, first, she faked an attempt on her own life, right? So it couldn't be her. She's the wife of a superhero as well, and she nearly got killed.
She's been targeted too, of course.
Of course, couldn't be her. Then she hired Captain Boomerang to kill Robin's father, Jack Drake. That is Tim Drake's father, Jack Drake.
Do we like Tim Drake?
We do like Tim Drake. Jack is killed by Captain Boomerang, who is hired by Jean.
Right. Okay.
She also... Do you know M. Night Shyamalan? This is this.
How it's just twist on twist on twist.
She supplied Drake, this is Jack Drake, who she's after hiring Captain Boomerang to kill. Mm-hmm. She supplied Drake with a gun to defend himself, hoping that Boomerang would be killed in the fight and that everyone would believe that he was Sue's killer as well.
Ah, I see.
Right, so she's going to try and frame Captain Boomerang.
And does it work?
No. Eventually, Dr. Midnight's autopsy of Sue's body revealed the truth, and the Atom himself elicited a confession from Jean after she inadvertently spilled the beads. When asking about, this is a classic CSI Miami thing, when asking about a letter sent to Jack along with the gun, Ray managed to put two and two together because Batman had taken the letter away from the crime scene even before the police had arrived.
No one else knew about the letter.
It's interesting you ask about that letter, Sue. Nobody else has seen it other than Batman and the Justice League. Interesting.
And the killer.
And the killer. Just one more thing, Sue, he said. Right? So she was promptly admitted to Arkham Asylum. With Jean's incarceration, Ray was overwhelmed with despair and shrank continuously until he vanished completely into a microscopic or subatomic world.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So he's gone now.
He shrunk so much that he went into the multiverse and went to Earth 51, where he went to find himself to see if himself in that world was happier, and then he decided that he wanted to live on that world.
Right.
Yes.
And is that where he is to this day?
No.
Oh, good. Good.
This is very close, but the end is that Donna Troy, Kyle Rayner and Jason Todd, actually, they went to Earth 51 and they were kind of like, dude, you don't belong here. He's living like a perfect life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
listen, I know you're super happy and nothing is wrong in this world, but come back to R1 where you're a miserable prick.
I think they said that there was like, what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't belong in that reality, so he was like putting everything. There was anomalies in the multiverses.
Okay, so it was because he was where he wasn't supposed to be.
And shit was happening shit was happening in all the other Earths because they're just like, something is off. There's an anomaly in the multiverse, and so they eventually brought him back, and he actually gave up his. I think he kind of gave up because the next Atom was Ryan Choi, and he came in and took over for a short time. But I think with the new 52, they changed it back to the Atom. But
good old
I wouldn't
Ray.
worry about that. I did 1961 to 2011. What you want to know is that Ray, he's a very smart boy. He's Hank Pym, but nice.
a man you would think unstoppable.
And to be fair, his wife got all of Hank Pym's characteristics.
That's true. That's a really like hard hitting story, dude. I read that, right, and I was scared by it, so I wanted everybody else to be scared by it. Yeah, I am legitimately shocked.
It comes out of nowhere because it's somehow overnight she becomes mentally deranged.
Because that was the only way they could think to get that story out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. She just becomes mentally deranged.
Just somehow.
Yeah, look,
it happens.
There was also a story where he shrunk so much that he became young again. There was like a multi-thing where he went back to a 17-year-old and then he joined the Teen Titans, and then you can clearly see like there's a cut where a new writer came in, because then they were just like, oh no, that didn't happen, he's now 31 again.
No, he's a regular aged man.
He's just the same as he was. So in terms of personality, Ray Palmer is a hard-working, dedicated man. In fact, dedicated is hardly the word for it. Driven is probably a bit more truthful. Once Ray starts working on a problem or puzzle, there's absolutely no stopping him. The single-minded pursuit of his goals is more than a little responsible for Ray's shattered marriage, as we've mentioned.
Yeah.
Although Jean she's not coming out like a bed of roses herself. Though it has occasionally come in handy to Ray, the crime fighter. In spite of his obsessiveness, Ray is still a level-headed hero and is a likeable human being. So,
God, it's few and far between. You get those.
He's like Hank Pym and like, I don't know. He's Hank Pym and Batman, but without any of their bad things. Like, he has Batman's obsessiveness, but he's not like, he's a likeable human being and he's level-headed.
Yeah.
And then he's obviously got like Ant-Man and Hank Pym's powers, but he uses them for mostly good, not for beating up people that definitely shouldn't be beaten up.
Oh, yeah, that's all you can ask from your superheroes, really, isn't it?
He's just a nice boy who's had some bad times.
I like him.
So his powers and abilities, he's obviously got microscopic stability. For some reason, Ray's physiology allows him to not explode when he's miniaturized. Also, his suit only appears when he shrinks. So when he is full size, his suit is on most of the time.
So he's not wearing it all the time.
No. He also has judo, which I think you'll like. He's got like Iron Man 3, Robert Downey Jr. judo.
Oh, amazing. The best form of combat.
The best form of combat. He also has physics. As I said, he's a PhD in physics. I was a full professor at Ivy University. And swordsmanship. He practiced with a long sword as a weapon for a long time.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty good. As a fighter, I think he's quite strong as well.
That's class. Anyone with a long sword is like okay in my book.
A big bastard sword.
Yeah.
So his equipment, he has the bio belt. So originally Ray's size and weight controls were located in his belt buckle. However, he later moved them to his gloves for greater accessibility. So he can actually change his weight and his size at will. Okay. No matter what. Size alterations, of course, he's able to shrink. Mass alterations, he's also able to what's the word I'm looking for? Not enlarge, grow.
Grow?
What's the other one? Shrink, and then
shrink grow. And grow. Yeah.
Grow was the thing. Emboldened. He gets very emboldened. He also has flight because he's able to use air currents and stiff breezes when he is small. And a favourite travel method Ray had was to call some location on the telephone, and when the intended phone answered, he would shrink down enough to literally travel through the phone lines in seconds to emerge out of the answering phone.
That sounds cool but annoying.
Yes. Yeah. And nowadays that wouldn't work. Everyone just stares at their phone like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Not happening.
Superhuman strength, so by shifting all of his mass into his fists, he can punch with incredible force. So he just puts all of his weight in his fist.
That's cool.
And he has dimensional travel. As I said, he can shrink beyond the subatomic scale, and he can slip between reality at the quantum level to go around multiverses.
That's really cool. And to think that he is really just a regular man who's quite smart.
Yes.
But not an awful person like Batman is.
No, it all started with spelunking, you know what I mean?
And in many ways it ended in spelunking, because he went into that different universe.
Oh, I didn't cover my last line is he loves spelunking. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Got that? I'm glad we've nailed that.
We've nailed that down.
I think that's it.
That was a very good report, Conor. Well done.
Do you remember Jean and how she kills Sue?
Yeah, she just... Yeah, poor Sue.
I can't think of anything else.
That's burned in my brain.
Okay, so do you want to take us out, Shaun?
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Hero Zero. We'll be back on Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and next Friday with another Hero Zero. Big thank you to all our patrons who support us over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. There's a link in the description. If you want to support us there, that's really cool of all you guys. If you don't want to support us there, or you just can't, the best way you can support the show is by telling one human being that we exist.
Just the one.
We are on every social media that there is. They're all in the description, and you can email us here'sfryer_@outlook.com. Think that's about it?
I think you've nailed it.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
So, I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Shaun.
I'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.